Welcome back. Thank you for joining us today. Today we are talking with Robert Stone from the pro-life group 40 Days for Life. Robert, thanks a lot for being with us today.
Thank you, Riley. Pleasure to be with you.
Robert, tell us about your organization, 40 Days for Life.
40 Days for Life was started 8 years ago down in College Station, Texas by a number of citizens, just 4 of them, who were concerned about abortion and asked God, what can we do to end abortion in America? And they felt like he was leading them to pray and fast for 40 days, let their community know what's happening in their town, and they got out to a lot of folks to do that.
What is your ultimate goal, your organization's ultimate goal?
Our desire to see abortion ended.
Nationally or throughout the whole world?
Throughout the world.
Okay.
And certainly it's not something that we can do, but we do believe it's something that God can do.
Okay. You brought some props here. Would you like to share that with us today?
Yeah, sure. This is a picture of a baby that's 20 weeks old in utero. As you can see, everything is fully formed. It looks just like a baby outside the womb. It's just smaller. And unfortunately, in America and many places around the world, it's fully legal at any time to take this baby and cut it apart, kill it, and remove it. And we think that's a shame. And we believe that everyone has the right to life. And Thomas Jefferson believed the same thing. So we believe it's an inalienable right that's given by our Creator.
What about these other ones? You have a kangaroo here.
Now this is the baby I just showed you was 20 weeks old, and these are all first trimester babies. This very small one is at 7 weeks, 8 weeks, 9, and 10. Most abortions in America, surgical abortions, are performed on babies that are 10 weeks old, and it's not medically advised to perform an abortion on a baby that's 7 or 8 weeks old. But even at that age, the heart is beating, the brain waves can be measured, the baby feels pain, he sucks his thumb, fingernails are formed, eyelids are formed, so it's fully human in every sense. And we believe that these little ones should have the same protections that we big people enjoy. Mm-hmm. Now we do hear from people that they feel like these aren't humans. And I was thinking the other day about marsupials. I used to travel a lot and went to California, or not California, they do have these in California, but Australia. And marsupials are beautiful animals, koala bears and kangaroos. It's interesting that when the fetus when it comes out of the womb, it's only about 30 days old, but it's strong enough that it can crawl into the mother's pouch to suck milk and then grow further. But no one would say when that embryo comes out of its mother's womb, it's not a kangaroo, it's not a koala bear. Mm-hmm. But if we let that baby kangaroo or koala bear mature, it would be so cute. It would certainly look as beautiful as this baby. And if I had that koala bear or kangaroo in the studio and began to take a scalpel and cut it to pieces, I think everyone in this room and on your television station would call in and say, "You better stop that right now." And that's how we feel, because it's silent and it happens in an operating room. The pain is no less for the fetus. To destroy a fetus, it's either cut the baby to pieces, burn it, or starve it to death. And we think that's wrong.
Do you ever get any negative reactions from people in the community or people from the Planned Parenthood organization?
Well, let me answer in reverse. From Planned Parenthood, no. We've been very pleasantly encouraged that they are kind to us, don't yell and throw things, and often we smile and wave at each other on the way to work, so to speak. On the other hand, unfortunately, there are people in our community, and I understand on both sides of the aisle, that aren't able to engage in intelligent dialogue. Mm-hmm. and discuss the issues as they really are. So we do get a number of thumbs up. We get a number of the other finger as well. And we try to smile and wave and bless people. My children, I have kids from age 2 to 9. And we stand out there and my kids say, "Dad, why are they so angry?" And I say, "Honey, I don't really know, but I wish we could talk to them, don't you?" So we bless them and say, "Have a good day."
Obviously, abortion is a very controversial and touchy subject, so allow me to play devil's advocate for a minute. Let's say a young woman is raped and becomes pregnant consequently. Mm-hmm. She can't afford to raise this child. Maybe she's too young and immature to take care of this child the way that it should be.
Right.
Should this young lady be able to get an abortion? And if not, what are some alternatives for her?
Right. I think that is one of the hardest questions that we can ask and needs to be asked. First of all, we have to state categorically rape is one of the most horrible crimes, and the perpetrators of those crimes need to be fully punished for that. I wasn't sure, to be honest, how I felt about that, although it is, of course, the very minor case of abortions, less than 1% of the case of rape. But I watched at a particular public event where there was a woman in her 40s, and she wore a T-shirt that was rather shocking, and it said on it, "My mother was gang raped, and I'm glad she kept me." Now, I can't make that decision for someone else, but I can appreciate what she said. The fact that a man has committed a terrible crime doesn't mean that someone should pay the price with their life for that crime. So we really have to come back to the question, is it a baby? Is it a human being deserving of full protection under the law, or isn't it? So it's a very difficult question, but I think that if we can arrive at the conclusion it is a human, then the human shouldn't pay that price. I would also add that I discovered that women who suffer from that horrible crime, the ones that choose to carry their baby to term, have a much better success rate at recovering psychologically and emotionally from that horrible traumatic event, because there's something that comes good out of that whole event. Lastly, you brought up a good point. What can a young mother do? Has no resources. Here in Springfield, we have many, many options and resources. There are several adoption agencies. There are people that will care for the mother when she's going through the pregnancy, and ultimately, if the mother chooses to give up her baby for adoption, we always love to say that adoption is the loving option. So there's many, many parents that are waiting to adopt. Over 1 million couples in America today are waiting in line to adopt, and yet we abort about that many every year.
What are your future plans for your organization?
Well, of course, we would love to see our organization continue to impact our community in a positive sense, not just for the ending of abortion, but for really the caring of children. And so we believe as those who love God, love life, and actually there are a number of atheists who are pro-life as well. Sometimes people are shocked to hear that. Yeah. There's just a value of life. And so as a community, if we can draw together and care for the women who are in very difficult circumstances, we would consider ourselves successful.
Robert Stone, thank you very much for taking the time to be with us today. We really appreciate you being on the show.
Hey, thank you, Riley. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Coming up on Ozarks News Journal, our own Callie Carroll has a special in-depth story about local cancer survivor. Ozarks News Journal will be right back.